Hey buds, how you doing? Let's go over some of the information that we know about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX that is coming out for the Nintendo Switch on March 6th and determine whether the game is the right fit for you. In this video, we'll be covering what the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon franchise is all about, the art style for this particular game, some of the core mechanics, then we'll be touching on some of the costs, the difficulty, and the time to completion. I will give you my own personal opinion about the game, and hopefully by the end of the video you have a better understanding, more information, and you can make the choice whether the game is worth your time. So this game is actually a remake or an enhanced version of the first installment of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series. It combines the original Red Rescue Team game from the Game Boy Advance with the Blue Rescue Team game from the Nintendo DS into one package for your enjoyment in the Nintendo Switch. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, for those of you who don't know, is actually a spin-off series of the highly successful creature capture game called Pokemon. The series is actually developed by Spikesoft in collaboration with the Pokemon Company. Alright, so let's talk about the core gameplay features of the game. The core gameplay consists of a roguelite dungeon crawler where you take your team or rescue team of Pokemon through a series of randomly generated dungeons to accomplish different objectives. Some of them, which may include rescuing trapped Pokemon, actually escorting a client to meet a trapped Pokemon so they can escape, sometimes they just don't trust you, providing an item to a Pokemon within the dungeon so they can escape, actually doing boss battles, and even more. You find yourself controlling your selected Pokemon and having AI control allies following you through the randomly generated dungeons, executing moves, and avoiding enemies, collecting items and Pokemon to help you in your quest, and essentially recruiting more members to build up your rescue team. Alright, so let's dive a little bit into the premise of the game now. The game story usually features a human turned to Pokemon for mysterious reasons. The protagonist, which usually is the avatar for the player, gets turned into a Pokemon due to a mysterious turn of events. The player usually forgets about everything about themselves except for the fact that they're human and their name. The game starts with a voice asking you questions as part of the personality test to determine which Pokemon actually fits your personality better. Once a Pokemon is selected, you can either stick with that selection or refuse it and pick your own. Then you have to pick a Pokemon that will be your partner for the rest of the game. That one you actually get to pick. In Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, you are awakened by your newfound friend/partner and quickly interrupted by a stranger Butterfree asking you for your help. Shortly after, you and your partner go and start a rescue team dedicated to entering the mystery dungeons and helping the citizens of the town as you uncover the various mysteries surrounding natural disaster, weird Pokemon behavior, and your own mystery conversion into or transformation into a Pokemon. Alright, given that you are actually been seeing this entire time throughout the video, let's talk about a little bit about the graphics and the art style choice. The original Red and Blue Rescue Team actually feature really awesome sprite visuals as well as its animations. However, the remake actually goes and pays a tribute to the originally concept art that you can see in the games if you actually play the originals. It features a soft color palette, which actually gives me a little of a sense also of a painted canvas. It reminded me a bit of Okami, but maybe that's just me. Although Okami had a lot of very thick black outlines, which in this one is more about the colors rather than the outlines. Now you may be wondering, how long will it take me to complete? Well, given that we have a track record of 10 games across 4 platforms, and also the fact that this is a remake of the original, we can kind of get a sense of how long the game will actually take to complete. As usual in games, the time spent depends on the player's style. If you're just going through the story based on the previous games, the most recent Super Mystery Dungeon, it will actually take you 25 to 30 hours to complete. If you're going through side quests, extra missions, it's about 30 to 35 hours. Now, if you're a completionist and would like to get shiny hunting, recruit everybody, maxing out your stats, maxing out your moves, well, it will be a lot longer than that. I have seen people actually taking 100 to 150 hours in their previous installment, which is Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Currently, I'm making my way through Explorers of Darkness and Super Mystery Dungeon in preparation for the release of this game. Alright, so this is all fine and dandy, but let's talk about the cost, because we don't have infinite money to be playing all the amazing experiences that are coming out this year. So, Even though the original featured handheld game pricing since it came out for the Game Boy Advance, the Nintendo DS, and the Nintendo 3DS, this one will actually set you back a full $60 US, which means that if you're Canadian like me, it will actually be $80 plus tax. There's a lot of games coming out this year, so it's worth keeping in mind how much the amount of money that this will set you back. Now the art style is all cute, it's all nice, there's a lot of cute Pokemon to actually go and be part of your rescue team, but sometimes visuals can be deceiving. How difficult is this game? In order to gauge the difficulty, myself, I am actually going through Explorers of Darkness and the most recent installment, Super Mystery Dungeon. Based on my experience with those games, and I actually also played on stream the demo for the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, which is now you can download it for free in the Nintendo Switch shop. It seems like the remake is actually a little bit less difficult. It seems like you can go through dungeons with ease as long as you don't make too many mistakes and just come prepared with plenty of items to aid in your quests. There's actually save points in the middle of the dungeons that you can go through and also put in items in a box so you don't lose them if you die in the later section of the dungeon. There's also a save items that you can pick up to actually make sure that you don't lose your progress in the middle of a dungeon. And also there is actually a feature that comes with it, which is auto navigate, that it traverses the dungeon for you, but it doesn't battle for you. As soon as you encounter a Pokemon, you break out of it. But there's the handy A button, which in this game, in previous installments, it used to be that you just do a move that didn't consume any of your moves PP. But in this game, you actually do a move that the best move for the occasion. The game figures it out for you. So overall, it seems like a pretty chill experience. Now that we talk about all the basic information, let's talk about the question of the hour. Is this game worth getting for you? As always, this is a very subjective question, as every single player has a different playstyle. Given that you're watching this video, I am guessing that you're either interested in the games or you're a little bit curious about them. So if you are the kind of person that likes dungeon exploration with simple but satisfying fighting mechanics, a little bit of item management, and a lot of Pokemon recruitment to build your arsenal of Pokemon, then I think you will have a lot of fun with this game. Personally, there is a lot of replayability in these games, given that there's a lot of randomly generated dungeons. Also, given that there's a lot of Pokemon to recruit, many different moves to acquire, moves that can be leveled up, there's gonna be shiny Pokemon in the game, and just plain old leveling, there's a lot to come back to in Mystery Dungeon. That being said, the gameplay mechanics are very similar, so if you don't like the exploration or pressing up the same moves over and over again, I feel like you will find some of the aspects a little bit dragging. That being said, it is my opinion that this game is perfect for pick up and play, because essentially you can play a dungeon. For me, at least in the previous installment, like I'm playing through the Explorers of Darkness and Super Mystery Dungeon, they usually take me around 30 minutes to play through one of the dungeons, go and achieve some objectives, actually rescue some of the Pokemon, recruit some of them, level up some of my moves, and then I just go and I put it down. Alright, well, there's a lot of information in there, but if you're still on the fence whether or not you should actually get this game, the good thing about it is that there's actually a free demo in the Nintendo eShop. So if you have a Nintendo Switch, you can go right ahead to the shop and grab it for free. The game actually it took me around an hour when I streamed it, and it only allows you to play until the first mission where there is a boss battle, but at least you can get a sense of what the dungeon exploration is all about, the controller layout, and whether or not the charming aspect of the game is enough for you to actually spend your money and your time on it. Well folks, I thank you for watching. I hope this video actually gave you some of the information and the insights that will allow you to make the decision for yourself. And if it did, I will really appreciate it if you actually like the video and check out some of the other content that this channel has to provide for you. And if you like some of the other content, then you will probably consider subscribing to the channel for future content, as we will be improving and getting better as we go along. Hey, I also invite you to actually take a look at some of the links in the description below. They point out to some other content that we don't actually put on the YouTube, like montage and highlights provided in Instagram, as well as a daily breakdown of some of the gaming stories that I provide in the form of stories in the Instagram as well. The Twitter actually focuses more on gaming opinions, as well as some of the updates for the Twitch, the YouTube, and anything that might be going on in terms of events. We also have a small Discord community that is brewing. We actually try to keep it close so we can get to know each other a little bit better. Again, there's a lot of communities out there and there's a lot of things going on, so I understand if you don't want to join, but if you want to take a look and there's a server slot available in your chat in your Discord, make sure to check that out. We also stream every day from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which will go over some of the games that we've been discussing in the YouTube, so keep an eye on for that. I'll be glad to have you. And at the end of the day, TikTok is also blowing up, so we'll be posting some more funny content in there, so keep an eye out for that. Without further ado, I won't take more time of your day. I hope you have a prosperous day, and this is Mr. Fun and Games signing off.